Hey fam, welcome into the Craig Houston podcast. Well, you know, over here we keep that shark mentality and we always striking on these stocks when we find blood in the water while everybody else is running for the hills. Hey man, look, this week I'm going to bring you 3 hot stocks that I'm looking forward to seeing in earnings reports this week. But before we get into that, hey, don't forget to get your 2 free stocks with Webull or get your 1 free stock with Robinhood. The links will be down in the description below. If you want to help out the channel in any type of way, hey, use those 2 links, man, and that'll help me out greatly here. But also make sure that you subscribe to the channel and even hit that notification bell so you can be notified when I'm providing more hot content to bring to you each and every day, man. So let's get directly into it without further delay. The first stock that I want to talk to you about today and that I see coming up on earnings report is going to be Square, man, and it's going to be reporting after the close. That stock symbol SQ, and we already know how Square rocks, man. Square is one of those companies where you know that it brings the hardware to the small business merchants, where they're able to take cash and credit card transactions right directly through Square, and then they even have the Cash app actually brought to your phones, man, and you see that every day. It's an application where you can do peer-to-peer transfers, or you can even invest using the Cash app, or you can even buy Bitcoin or crypto through the Cash app as well, man. But even more than that, businesses are now able to pay payroll to their employees directly through the Cash app feature as well. And it even has the Visa endorsed business card that goes with it. So, hey, you stay locked in with Cash app or you stay locked in with the Square merchant deals, you're going to see this thing take off to the moon eventually, and I expect to see that happen. So let's talk about what the analyst expectations are. Earnings expectations for Square right now is that they're looking for them to report anywhere between the range of 34 cents a share. And you know, the price targets currently out there on Square, man, is they have a low of 200, a median of 256, and a high of 335. If the experts are not high on this out of the stock reports, then you can see this thing slide back 10 to 15%, which is a buying zone for a lot of people who wants to get into this play. If this thing slides back 10 to 15%, you need to be taking advantage of this dip in the market that it will provide. But if Square comes out and they kill earnings, then you can actually see this thing run 20 to 30% in the next coming days after the earnings report. So be paying attention to what's going on with Square and see where it's going to take off and what's going to happen with it. If it's now, what I do recommend, if this thing do pull back, and this is not financial advice, but just so you understand the logic that I'm going to play and I'm going to engage in if it happens, is that if Square pulls back that 10 to 15%, like I just suggested, if they don't hit the earnings mark that the analysts expect for them to hit, it's not that they haven't done a good job in the market. It's that the analysts just didn't want to see the expectations and the growth that they expected. And if they don't, and this thing pulls back 10 to 15%, this is the best opportunity to go ahead and take advantage and buy 2-year option calls out on this thing, man. Get the long-term option calls and ride this thing out, especially if it's already in the money. This is the best opportunity for you to take advantage of. So that's all I'm gonna say about Square right now, but let's jump into the second one, man. And so the next one that we're gonna talk about on this list that I'm expecting to see earnings reports on this week, and that's gonna be stock symbol ABNB. AIRBNB is the company, and they're expected to report their earnings after the close on Thursday. And you already know how this company rolls, man. They put hosts and guests together on their online platform so they can book events and experiences through their lodging platform. And hey, this company, man, the earnings expectations on this company is that they're expecting them to report at least a loss of 17 cents a share. And you already seen what these price targets are when it comes to Airbnb. We're talking about a low of 103, a median of 157, and a high of 220. All right, with this being Airbnb's first earnings, man, look, you can't expect anything from this earnings call. You have to understand this is the first one of the public since it went public. And since it went public, we don't know what that revenue is, and they went public during a pandemic, a once in 100-year event. So with that, you have to take this with a grain of salt. But the analysts are going to overestimate, the analysts are going to overanalyze, and they're going to do the things that makes them analysts and not real investors. And when that happens, if they can provide you an opportunity to catch this on the 10 to 15% slide back in the next coming weeks, you need to pounce on that and take advantage of it. Because if you don't, then you're going to be slipping, and you're going to be tripping, and you're going to be upset that you didn't have your shark mentality engaged. If this thing pulls all the way back to the IPO price of 145, you need to be buying heavy. This is what I would be doing. I would be buying heavy if Airbnb pulls back to the IPO stage. And then if it goes even lower than IPO down to its all-time low of 120s, I'm buying in the 120s over the top, and I'm buying option calls at that point in time. So you need to be aware of where this stock price is going. So if you don't have this on your radar, man, you need to lock in and you need to get your game up and understand that you need to do your own homework and due diligence to understand where you can take advantage of this game when it comes to the Airbnb. the COVID response is going to eventually die down at some point in time as vaccinations and herd immunity come about. And when it does, and you start seeing the travel sector take off, and you see lodging starting to take off, you know Airbnb is going to be the play in this move, and you want to be in on that ride when it rides back up. Look what happened with Facebook when Facebook took the deep dive back down to the 50s and the 70 range, and then it rolled it all the way back up to 200. You haven't looked back and seen those prices ever since. If this thing dips down to 140 or even down to 120, you may not ever see these prices ever again if it hits those. So you need to be aware if Airbnb hits that price that you need to take advantage of, and you definitely need to have long option calls on this play as well. So my current long-term price target for Airbnb is at 325, and that's by 2023, right? Based on economic recovery only in the US. Only in the US. But if we get global recovery through the pandemic, then my price target moves out to 515 in 2024, $515. So pay attention to what's going on in this market and definitely take advantage of if this thing slides back on Thursday after the bell. So let's talk about my third hot stock that I'm expecting to have an earnings report that I'm looking forward to. And this is going to be on Thursday as well, but it's going to be before the opening bell. And that's Plug Power, and that's stock symbol PLUG. All right, let's talk about Plug Power for a second, man. Plug Power provides alternative energy technology focused on the manufacture of hydrogen fuel cell systems for off-road and stationary power markets. They have 4 main products in their product line, which are Gen Key, Gen Drive, Gen Fuel, and Relion. Do your homework on this product line, as this will open your eyes to this play. Hey, so hit me up in the comments if you want me to give you a deep dive on this play. Let's get back to it. So the analyst expectations for this play is they're expecting a loss of 4 cents a share, and the price targets that we seen out here, all these are strong buys, man. You see the low is a 23, you see the median is $69, and you see the high is 88. This stock is a long-term play who is expected to grow revenue over 30% for the next few years. This is all about forward-looking guidance that the Wall Street hope that they will start to see growth. Hey, that's fine. If they don't see growth right off the bat and you see these quarters start to take a little slide, you want this for the long-term play, because that's what we are. We're long-term investors. And if you're long-term investing, then you don't care about the short-term, what happens. You care about what's going to happen 3 to 5 years out. And with that, if this does slide back around to $40 to $45 price levels, then you want to be taking advantage of this and picking up long-term option plays on this play as well, as long as you're picking up shares to go with it, so you can sell those cover calls. Hey, so I have to do more research to give you my price target on this, but I am paying attention to what's going on with Plug, and I may even start a position here in the next 2 weeks on Plug if it gives me the opportunity to get down that 40 to 45 price range. Hey, and I'm gonna give you a bonus. The bonus of the day, I'm gonna give you one to go off of, man, too. And this is gonna report after the close on Wednesday, and that is gonna be REDFIN, stock symbol RDFN. All right, let's talk about REDFIN. It provides residential real estate brokerage services. Their customers can search for homes by neighborhood, cities, or even by the MLS. This company offers online tools to consumers, such as their home valuation tool, which is served in over 80 metro areas within the US. Based on the boom in the housing market lately, I expect to hear good numbers and forward-looking guidance from REDFIN. If there's a pullback, look for option calls in 2023 for this play. Pay attention to the reaction of the market in this play. I don't expect this one to slide more than 3% based on what happens with the earnings call on Wednesday, but you never know. It may slide back even more, or it may be out of this mind blowout earnings, and it may take off 10 to 15%. But I'm locked in thinking it's not going to drop no more than 3%. And when it don't drop more than 3%, hey, don't feel bad about that, but wait for it to pull back to the $70 range. If it pulls back to the $70 range, then you need to be buying these shares up wholesale. And then you even need to be looking at short to medium term, long term option plays. And when you can, anything that you see and it's a long term option play, you want to ride this thing all the way out to $100. Hey, so scoop them up a plenty. Hey, look, man, I keep on trying to tell you that you need to change your mentality and make sure that you keep dry powder on the sideline so you can take advantage of all these plays that's going to keep coming about, and keep on taking advantage of the market when they have blood in the water and people are running for the hills. You need to be the one to attack, and you need to have a game plan to attack. So make sure that you're doing your homework and understand what's going on with these plays, man, and keep on staying locked in. So I want you to check out other videos on the playlist, man, and have a good day. And you know how I feel about y'all. I love y'all. Stay safe. Peace.